Hi guys! Welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new legal advice content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first one is titled, Lady Stole My Dog and Wants Money for Him. Texas. 5 months ago my husband and I were moving into a new apartment. We took my dog to stay with my grandpa for a week or two while we moved so that my dog didn't get in the way. He's a pit bull, chocolate lab mix and has a lot of energy. My grandpa has a huge plot of land and I thought my dog would enjoy that as a little vacation while we moved. A day after my dog had been at my grandpa's, my dog got out. We think he pushed open the back door. My grandpa felt awful and we called every vet office nearby and even let the police station know and gave them a picture. They said they'd keep an eye out for him. This is a small town in Texas. I don't even know if the population is more than 200 people. Fast forward 5 months. I thought my dog got ran over by a car and that's why no one had turned him into any shelters. He had tags on him and is microchipped, so I figured that if someone had picked him up, we would know. My phone number and name is on his tag, even. Yesterday I received a call from a vet office in this town. They told me an old lady had picked my dog up 5 months ago. She has been taking him in for regular checkups and even got him his shots. Yesterday when she brought my dog into the vet, they felt the microchip on his neck and decided to scan it. They found my information on it and called me. Well, this morning I spoke with the lady. Let's just say her name is Tina. She is old, probably in her 70s. I let her know that I was happy she had my dog and that he was not dead or had been run over. She was not happy to speak with me. I asked her if I could come pick him up and the first thing she says is, I just spent $165 on his shots. I let her know that I was sorry. I know she had formed a relationship with him, but he was my dog. I adopted him when he was a disgusting looking pit bull at the pound that no one wanted. He was malnourished and I formed a bond with him, getting his health back. She then started telling me that her mother had just died and she had no one else in the world. I, again, apologized about her mother and thanked her for taking care of him. She gave me her address and said I could pick him up, but also said she needs me to pay for all the food for these past 5 months. I'm a little upset she found a dog and didn't call the number on his collar or have him checked for a microchip in the event that he somehow lost his collar. My dog got out, someone found him and never turned him in. It's been 5 months and I was finally contacted. She wants money for his bills and food before giving him to me. Should I pay her back? I don't think this old lady is trying to scam me. But my husband says that something seems odd. I also am not sure if she can keep my dog from me until I pay her. Edit. She doesn't want just $165 now. She wants $165 for his shots yesterday, $100 for medication. Wouldn't specify what, $100 for the first checkup he had, and $250 for food for the past 5 months. So she wants around $615. Update. I got some requests for an update since I went and picked up my pup today. Words can't even describe what it was like to see him after 5 months. When my grandfather and I got there, my pup and the old lady were sitting on the porch together. She was crying as I came up. She told me a little about herself. She lives on $600 a month out in the country by herself and her mom passed away 4 weeks ago. I let her know how sorry I was. I told her that I would still be taking my dog, but I wrote her for a check for $200. That will cover the shots she paid for. If the vet can fax me the other bills tomorrow, I will pay her for those as well. I would have had to get them next month anyways, so not really a loss, and I know the money helped her. I asked her about the day that she found him and he was still on my grandfather's property when he was found. He had crawled through barbed wire, probably to go exploring. She said he had some wire stuck to him and had scratches on him. She took him to the vet and told them she found him, so it sounds like they never did the microchip check like they should have at first. But all is well. We also made a deal that I'm going to drive her to a shelter so she can have a sweet dog just like mine. I let her know I could help her train one, or come over whenever she needs. She's welcome to visit my dog if she ever needs to. She said we can come over and use her yard anytime and that if I ever need a dog sitter I can drop him off. I'm glad it went down like this. The next one is titled, Neighborhood Kids Clear Snow from Car with Shovel Without Permission. Now scratch repair is $2,500, Pennsylvania. Had a snowstorm here in the East Coast. Cleared my front sidewalks and had my car parked out back next to my back porch. The backyard is on the end of a row with no fence, and people can walk past it. Anyways, two 10 to 11-year-old boys wanted to clear snow, presumably so people would pay them or donate an amount when done. So my roommate told them they could clear the back porch. He thought they were just doing it for free, don't ask. They also took the liberty of clearing snow off my car, which was parked just nearby, apparently with a metal-edged shovel. My first quote from an auto body shop quoted $2,500 because the scratches are on the hood, roof, spoiler, and both quarter panels, and would need to be sanded down and repainted due to the depth of the scratches. My car is only worth about $3,500, and I do not have comprehensive insurance on it. If the issue were only cosmetic, I would be less upset, but over time this will become a rust issue and completely devalues my car for resale or trade-in. I found the kids and talked to both parents. Of course both kids say the other guy was the one who cleaned off the car, without permission. This is not a wealthy neighborhood, and I do not expect to recover the full amount of damages. However, I would like at least something to help since I cannot afford this myself. Do I have any legal action or any advice? I filed a police report already since the one kid's parents started yelling, swearing, and asking me if I was calling their kid a liar, at which point I let it go. They questioned the parents and afterward told me to get comprehensive insurance. Even if I had it, my premium would go up if I claimed, so either way these kids are vandalizing and costing me money that I don't have. Is civil court even worth it? Update. So I took it to 2 other body shops and both said it shouldn't rust. The first estimate said he wasn't sure. Yes, my car probably isn't worth $3,500, that's just a figure that I wanted to pull from somewhere. I really doubt I'd get more than $2,000, and it would probably be from one of those minimum trade-in events. While initially I thought that the kids had cleaned the car and expected payment, I think it's just as likely now that they may have cleaned the car after my roommate didn't pay them for their work on the back porch. Either way, it doesn't change the result. After looking at the situation some more and getting the names and addresses of the families from the police, I do not think it is reasonable that I will see a penny from a successful judgment even if that were to happen. Yes, I'm mad at my roommate for even letting them near the house, but he just moved to the East Coast from Nevada and has no clue how we deal with snow here. Whatever. He offered to pay half of what I choose to do in repairs, which is nice and I think shows he finally understands the situation a little more. Yes, the kids may have been out trying to get a break. So am I? They ducked up my property, I did not. As for the voice recording that some of you mentioned, the conversations took place on public property, with neighbors nearby and within hearing distance, and from my limited understanding, that does not afford a reasonable expectation of privacy. Could be wrong. It mostly just has value for me going back over that afternoon to sequence everything and understand what was said. The police now have it on statement that both kids accused the other, so it's not even necessary at this point. I have been toying with the idea of getting a new car for a while but did not pull the trigger because I do not have a garage and did not want to expose a new car to the weather. This car runs great, and it's got another 5 years in it easily. To whoever thinks a $3,500 car is worthless, well, to a broke college kid working part-time for food and rent, that's a lot of money to lose to some kids doing shit you never asked for or expected. I don't need the best and the latest car, but I do take care of what I have and expect it to last a while. I've had this car for 10 years. Yes, I bought it when I was 16 and living at home. Comprehensive insurance on it though? I used to have comprehensive until I decided the benefits of saving the extra money outweighed the risks of damage like this. Who in the world expects kids to do something like this? Yes, I know that's what comprehensive is for, preparing for the unexpected, but we all assess our own situations and assign different weight to that decision. Collision is a different story, and for something worth as little as my car, the offending party's liability would cover it. If I ducked up enough to total a $3,500 car with only liability, that's on me and is a much easier pill to swallow. I'll be looking up some DIY videos to see if there is a viable solution, because there's no way in hell I'm paying what it costs to restore it to the condition from 3 days ago. When it comes down to it, these families have nothing, I have nothing, and nothing is going to happen. Cool. Thanks for your input. The last one is titled, "Today, my previous landlord returned my security deposit check, withholding fees citing long grass. It has been 34 days since my lease ended. Michigan, Oakland County. Today I received a check for my security deposit from my previous landlord. Just a check, no written notice of damages or withholdings, for $276 less than my original deposit. I immediately called the landlord, asking why money was withheld. Over the phone, I was explained that money was withheld for 2 reasons. Doorknob wouldn't lock, $150 charge. Long grass during my stay at the property, $126. I informed the landlord that according to Michigan 554.610, the full deposit should have been returned since it's been over 30 days. Failure by the landlord to comply with the notice of damages requirement within the 30 days after the termination of occupancy constitutes agreement by the landlord that no damages are due and he shall remit to the tenant immediately the full security deposit. His response was, "I'm not going to do that. What, are you going to take me to small claims court?" I began asking about the fees, and he replied that the doorknob didn't lock. The house was locked when I left, so I am not sure what he is talking about. With regards to the lawn, he said that he received a letter and was charged for the long grass on his taxes. I know for certain that nobody, other than myself or my housemate, has cut the grass during my lease, so I am skeptical about any claims charges otherwise. I asked for any documentation, and asked why it wasn't brought up at the time. All I received is a picture. I haven't been able to determine what kind of form this is from, but it certainly does not appear to be a fee letter. Going to call the county office tomorrow to see if they can help determine what these charges relate to. What do you recommend? Should I actually go through small claims court? Update. I learned that the picture from my previous post was a cropped section of the landlord's property taxes. After a late night of reading up on my county, I was able to pull up all of the property records through my county's assessor website. There, I saw some interesting things. The screenshot was, in fact, from May 2019 property taxes during my time as a tenant. Throughout the history of the property, there were only 2 instances of invoices for weed removal, once in 2006, and once in May of 2018, before my time as a tenant. Neither of these invoiced items came to the $144 weed removal as shown in the property tax, so I went to bed confused. The next morning, I called the assessor's office to see why the May 2019 property tax had a weed removal charge. After triple checking, she assured me that the item on the May 2019 taxes was in fact the unpaid invoice from May of 2018, plus a 10% fee for the landlord's failure to pay. Apparently, once invoices remain unpaid for a year or so, they are transferred to the property taxes so that they can't be ignored. I wrote a very stern message to my previous landlord, and I received my full deposit back. Thanks. I couldn't have done it without you. I've not yet owned my own property, so I learned a lot going through this experience. Thanks for listening.